Hey YouTube, just doing another little quick video on the Ford Ranger project. It is like this close to getting started and on the road or the trail or wherever you want to go. It will be driven on the road some, so I guess that. But since the last update, got the bed on. As you can see, we'll go over that in a minute. Also got the steering linkage all set up. I think the last video I told you it was off being welded, and it's back. Welds look really nice. You know, I would never be able to do anything like that with how thick the steel is and my welding skills, so I sent that off. There's really no point investing in 1-ton steering if your welds are shit, so there you go. I did weld that insert in on the pitman arm though. Didn't come out that badly. A nice grind off those excess welds. You know, it will work. So there's that. That's a big thing. I just got to throw a coat of paint on all of this, on the axle and this steering linkage. And then we're all done with that. The motor, didn't do much with that other than I have a oil filter relocator that wasn't working with my setup. You could see where the oil filter goes in right there, just right down there. And there's hoses that connect into it, but if that was the only thing down there, it wouldn't be an issue. There's also this hole right here. You can kind of see it. It's the cast part, not the aluminum part. There's a extension for an oil pressure regulator that comes out that will contact the hoses. And on top of that, we have a power steering pump that will be right in this about general vicinity. And then of course we have the gearbox kind of in the way too. So it's really, really tight. I had to just drill into the actual oil filter relocator and tap a new hole in, so we'll have an elbow fitting. You know, that then I'm gonna throw that back in here probably in a few days. So, and it will probably work, hopefully. But yeah, once that goes in, this thing is officially ready to start. I also had needed to get an elbow for my return line for the power steering, because this one it goes up at an angle and it kinks the hose if it's straight. Have that in the garage just over there. Same with the filter thing, but we'll go over that in another video. Back here, got the bed on finally. Took a little while, but it is back on. Also got a nice fuel cell in here. It did rain last night, and I checked the fuel cell just to make sure there was no leaks, and unfortunately there was water in there, so I think it came in through here. I didn't have this cup on last night, so I'm pretty sure it just came in through here. I'm gonna have to take this off, put a rubber hose, and like maybe mount it down here, because obviously water can't go upstream. But I'm pretty sure that's where it is. So it's gonna rain again tonight. I put this on here. That should protect it enough to where I could isolate the problem at least. And then, so yeah, this bed's in pretty decent condition. You know, there's no rust holes in it except in this one spot down here. It's the only rust hole on this whole bed. Everything else is pretty surface rust. Just needs a good cleaning, that's for sure. It's obviously sitting under a tree. This is what the whole truck looked like before I washed that part, so I'll do that in a minute. Unfortunately, the roll bar, I noticed this when we were putting it on. Unfortunately, it's unusable as a roll bar, at least. Don't know if you could see that. Just a nice hole right there, and that's a small one too. And you know, I know there's gonna be people that are gonna say, oh, you could just, you know, sleeve that or whatever. And they're right, but there's one on this side too, and it's even bigger. And then there are several pinholes in like a variety of locations as well. Right here being one of them. This pinhole right there, and there it's like that, and basically the whole thing. So, you know, you'd be chasing all those to try to fix this. That's honestly, I think it's unsalvageable. But, you know, it looks cool, and we're leaving it on there because look at those bolts. Good luck getting those off without a fight. So we're leaving this on. It'll look cool, but it's obviously not gonna function as a roll bar. Whatever, I guess. Also got a new cab mount well, sort of new, I guess. I remember last video I said this was no longer connected because it was so, you know, like worn out. So this made a piece of steel washer type thing that connects this to that. So it's basically no longer I guess a rubber part connection in this mount at least. So there's that. Getting that bolt off wasn't actually that bad. It did was a little bit fighty, I guess, but this truck had a body lift when I bought it, so those were off probably within the last few years. So it wasn't that bad. I may end up doing all the cab mounts in the future because of that now. But for now, that's what we're gonna use, and we're gonna see how the ride goes and everything. So yeah, there's that. I unfortunately can't even find rubber mounts for these anymore. They're just all polyurethane, so you know, the ride isn't gonna be much better than what I have right there anyways, let's face it. So I think I'm gonna leave it. So with that, I guess that's this update. Hopefully gonna be starting it maybe this weekend. It really depends on how when I can get this thing ready to fire up, I guess. So there's that, and peace out.